The United States has less than 25 days left of diesel. And today, I want to tell you what nobody is telling you regarding our diesel shortage, because the American people are essentially screwed. Now, you probably heard the news over the past few days that the United States is running low on diesel. And to make matters even worse, we were seeing the 25 days left. This was like 2 days ago. So now we're likely under the 25-day mark. Now, even though you probably heard about some of these issues surrounding diesel over the past year or so, there are many more issues on the horizon that most people have no clue about because you don't see them on mainstream media. Today, I'm going to walk you through some of these. I'm going to help you understand what is going to happen potentially over the next 30 days. Now, one thing that I do ask is this is extremely important because diesel is not just used in diesel trucks or things like I guess it would be a diesel truck, but you got a semi truck, right? You got some big rigs, right? You got bulldozers and freight trains and just farming equipment, construction equipment. Diesel is used for a lot of things. So if you could do me a favor, go ahead, first off, hit that like button because that would actually get this video out there to more people here on YouTube so they understand that this is a major crisis. And also feel free to share this video with your friends and family over on Facebook. But here's what I can tell you. There is a major diesel shortage, and there has been due to demand being through the roof for the past 2 years. We also have a shortage due to refinery constraints and seasonal maintenance. This is part of the problem. And then we'll just throw in the Russian war. This has actually tightened global supplies, but it's also limited global imports. Again, this isn't great news. These are problems. Now, according to the Energy Information Administration, they say that this is the lowest our supply has been since 2008. Whenever we compare ourselves to 2008, that should be a telltale sign that things are in crisis mode. We also know demand rose to its highest seasonal level since 2007. And while weekly demand has dipped, it is still the highest it has been in nearly 2 years. Again, those are all problems. Now, let's get into where we will see the biggest spikes in diesel prices and as far as shortages for the fuel. It is going to be on the East Coast. This is due to a couple reasons. Obviously, people using diesel, that's a major issue. Like I said, construction equipment, freight trains, things like that. But a major part of the diesel shortage is because on the East Coast, households have actually started to burn diesel because we saw a shortage in home heating oil. Yeah. So households are resorting to a more expensive fuel, which is diesel. Okay? So again, it's a major problem. But I want to cover what could happen over the next 30 days because I know this is something that a lot of people are very worried about. Well, here's what could happen. In 30 days, or let's say on November 19th, we could see railroads go on strike due to their dispute over the new tentative labor agreement. If this happens, again, I've been talking about this for the past couple months, but if this happens, the contingency plan in place at this moment is the railroads would move all freight by truck. Guess what happens then? Railroads are actually using less diesel than, the trains are using less diesel than a truck would. That's a major problem because a train can carry more cargo than a truck, but they also use less diesel. Again, that means demand is going to increase. As you can imagine, demand of diesel is already at historic levels, so shutting down railroads and switching over to trucks would only make this problem worse. And again, that could happen within the next 30 days. That's not the only problem, though. One of the other problems that's happening right now, and which is causing diesel, or could cause diesel to increase as to how much is being used, is, and again, I've talked about this over the past week, and again, hopefully you've watched some of those videos, but there's an issue on the Mississippi River. And the worry is the Mississippi River is drying up. There's less water because of the drought, and with less water, we cannot fill the barges with as much inventory. We can't fill them up. Because if we do, the barge would touch the bottom and they would sit there until more water came in the river to lift it up. But again, because of what is happening right now, barges are not shipping as much cargo. There is not as many barges going through the river at once because the river is becoming more narrow, right? And these are issues. These two issues would cost, would just increase the cost of operation, make it much more expensive, okay? And in the event that this river becomes impassable due to water levels, then barges, they wouldn't operate, and we would see the goods get moved by truck. Yeah, by truck. Now here's the thing. Some people are saying that if the Mississippi River cannot be passed, right, we can't send products down the Mississippi River, then they would just use rail. Well, we just discussed rail. What if there is a strike? There's a rail strike. Nothing will be moving by rail. So if one of these things were to happen, either a strike or the Mississippi River becoming impassable, well, that would cause a little bit of a hiccup, and diesel prices would go up. We'd also increase demand. Well, what if both of these things were to happen and they happen at the same time? That would be a catastrophe, not just for people around the Mississippi River, not just for railway workers, but for the entire U.S. economy. Now, just to give you an idea how much less expensive it is, or how much more a barge can do, get this. According to the Upper Mississippi Waterway Association, a single hopper barge can haul as much dry cargo as 16 rail cars or 70 trucks. Yeah. But again, these are just two of the scenarios that are hitting the United States at this moment. These don't even take into consideration what is going on in Europe, what is going on in Russia, or really any other country. But here is this is a problem. But here's some temporary good news. The U.S. has been able to divert 2 vessels carrying around 1 million barrels of diesel away from its original destination in Europe. These 2 vessels will dock sometime in the next couple of days, and they will dock in Europe. But here's what I want you to take away from this video. It's not how much the river's going down. No. It's not the railroad strike that is still a possibility, or some say it's a probability. It's not that. It's the fact that we have seen the writing on the wall for diesel shortages, but the administration is still doing nothing, right? We haven't increased the amount of diesel that we're, in for refineries, right? We're not doing that. This is a major problem, and things are only getting worse. And honestly, we all need to wake up and realize what's actually going on, because the administration isn't telling us the truth. They're just not. And now, this is why I highly recommend you share this video with your friends and family, so they too know what is going on. Because honestly, we're not seeing some of these things being talked about in mainstream media, and that's the problem. So, just wanted to fill you in on what's going on there. But as always, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.